Zach, how you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. It's been a long layoff, and I was going to ask you, as an offensive coordinator that is implementing a first-year scheme. Yes, you got to see it play out in one game. Is it kind of hard to still hold the reins back, if you will, a little, getting into the groove of things after such a long hiatus?
It's tough to get into a groove. Yeah, you're not playing football games, and you're in and out of who's in, and the situation we were in, and so we try to make the best of it, and you move forward. But you definitely don't get into a flow or into a rhythm, from a practice standpoint, and that cohesiveness as an offense.
Trevor.
Hi, Zach. This is going to be your first go-around against UCLA, but they have a new passing game coordinator for their defense who has implemented some adjustments with their packages that they've kind of improved on from years past. What have been kind of your takeaways from watching them on film and some of their personnel that stands out to you?
It's a fast defense. They fly around. They do a good job. They played 4 games in a row, and you can see them, getting better each week. They played some good teams, some good offenses too, and so. With their guys on the defensive side, you can tell that they're not out of position very often. They play hard, they fly to the ball, and they've got good team speed. So it's going to be a good challenge for us. They're a little bit different than they were last year, on film, and so we've got to make some adjustments and be ready to execute from our end. And really, our focus right now is on us. They like to bring pressure. We got to be ready for that. And, other than that, we got to go execute. We got to get out there again and work that operation and try to keep them off balance as much as we can.
Jacob.
Zach, I'm curious what the last 3 weeks have been like for you, just in terms of the process of all of it personally, and then just dealing with it, as a coach with players who had to go through this, and then also. What was it like to get back to the facility in the last couple of days and kind of see the guys again for the first time in a bit?
Well, it's been great getting back and trying to get back into that flow of practice and meetings and being intentional with our process. But it's not easy. All these schools around the country have been affected some way or another, and everybody's trying to handle the adversity and the emotions that go along with it. And from a player standpoint, from a coach's standpoint, from an administrative standpoint, everybody's dealing with the day-to-day adjustments. And so we just got to be intentional with the day, and you never know what's going to happen in the future, and you can't control that. So, what do we got today? What's our schedule? Let's go do it. And then with that, again, you got to control some of the emotions of the players and people around, and then focus on what you can control. That's the only thing we can do.
Yeah.
Zach, I don't know whether you were one of the people that had COVID or not. Would you want to comment at all on that, and also just how you helped the players that did to get through it on your side of the ball?
Oh yeah, we obviously we had some guys that had it, and we're moving on from that. We're going to be full speed going into UCLA, and just excited to get back on the field again. And I know the players are too. They can't wait to get out there and show what they've got. It's our first home game in December. Who would have thought? And so we're just trying to take it again one day at a time, and leading up to game day. And but I know from an everybody standpoint, a Sun Devil family standpoint, we're excited to get back out there and move past this period and try to focus on the positive.
Hunter.
Hey, Zach. Even though you have the layoff and you can't necessarily practice and help your offense, do you feel like the time off gave guys maybe more time to study that they didn't get before the season, to maybe just get the offense more ingrained into their brains? And do you think that could benefit or make up for the fact that you didn't have real practice time?
I don't think it was an advantage. I think it's was a tough period, and we try to handle it the best that we can, in meetings, and trying to keep guys on the same page and trying to keep guys active and engaged. And that's all you can do. But I don't look at that time off as a positive advantage, getting back now and being active on the football field, going to practice and meetings and being together, and being smart with the COVID protocols and try to do things the right way.
Michael.
Yeah, Coach, you talked about, I mean, obviously the rhythm and, from one game, and it's big for Jaden and obviously the freshman receivers, but an offensive line too. I mean, chemistry builds as the season goes on. Was it almost kind of like starting from maybe not completely square one, get what I'm saying? But like with the offensive line and then Jaden with the receivers, I mean, a few days back at practice, but how do you feel that's been these past few days?
For sure, we're getting there, but it's tough. I mean, you're coming off of not being together, and so the communication, you got to get back into that practice mode. You got to get back into the communication mode, and that's not easy. And so we're trying to push them as coaches and create, some adversity for them in practice, but also some good energy and some positive energy. So, but they've got to get themselves back in condition, and then those practice habits that, however these practices go this week, we're going to, see game day. So however much we can attack each day and each practice and each meeting and work through that, hopefully we can build ourselves up to the point of where we're back into full speed mode and communicating well and operating like we want to.
Oh,
Zach, I know that Herm said that all he did for the last 3 weeks is watch film, whether he's watching games live or just a day or two later. I mean, just from your perspective, is it kind of hard not to have, as they say, paralysis by analysis, watching too much game film and maybe letting your mind wander as you're trying to devise a game plan?
Sure. We've only played one game. We've installed a lot. So you got to be careful as a coach to go, oh, I like that. It's a good idea. And then, all of a sudden you're putting in too much. Yeah, I'm with you totally on that. It's, you got to focus on what you can do and not stray too far away from, what you've already practiced. And so that's the fine line. And it's easy to do as a coach, especially when you love football and you see all these plays that all these teams are running between college and the NFL, and got to be smart with how much you want to put on the kids.
Jacob.
Zach, yesterday Herm was talking about how one of the biggest challenges of this last 3 weeks and then coming back is going to be the conditioning standpoint of it, just because the guys were not able to work out consistently over that time. Just in terms of coming back to practice, what has that been like for you, just bringing everybody back up to operational speed, and kind of how do you balance that with the game just a couple days away? It's
kind of like you're starting over again, and now we're jumping back into it. And I think it's a little bit of that eye opener for the kids, and the players getting out there again, and just again, it's all about training them for the game. And so it's the practice habits, and it's and we're not used to that right now. And so getting into that process again, and doing the online piece, and you get the social stuff going on. You got so many things happening, and now it's focusing back in on football and getting rid of all the exterior things that are going on, trying to keep them guided on one point, and that's the game. We're going to be at the game on Saturday. Now, what do we got to do to get into that spot? But there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's not easy coming off of a break where guys aren't practicing and aren't in condition. So it's physical, it's mental, and then you're dealing with all the social aspects of everything and the adversity, and it's not an easy situation to be in as a player or a coach. And again, you just gotta focus in on what's important and get rid of the stuff that's not.
Any other questions for Coach? Jeff.
So are you expecting at this point to have the majority of the players that were available to you against USC available this week?
We're rolling. We're back in it.